Ladies and gentlemen, you ever seen a diamond in the rough? It may look ordinary to the untrained eye, but within it lies unmatched brilliance, waiting to be revealed. In the same way, a woman who walks alone is often underestimated, yet she carries a light that cannot be dimmed, a divine spark placed by God Himself. Identity in solitude. A woman who walks alone is not abandoned but divinely positioned to discover her true worth and purpose. The world often perceives solitude as a form of isolation, a punishment, or an indication of weakness. But in the divine perspective, solitude is a sacred space where transformation takes place. It is in solitude that a woman begins to hear the voice of God more clearly, unclouded by the noise and expectations of society. Without history, great women have been shaped in the crucible of solitude. It was in the wilderness that Hagar, abandoned and afraid, encountered God and realized that she was never truly alone. It was in the quiet corners of her home that Mary received the revelation that she was chosen to carry the Savior of the world. And it is in those moments when a woman stands alone, away from the distractions of the world, that she begins to understand her divine identity, not as someone dependent on the validation of others, but as a daughter of God, whole and complete in herself. Solitude is not about being without people, it is about being with God. When a woman is stripped of the external influences that try to define her, relationships, status, titles, and opinions, she is left with the one thing that truly matters, her connection with her Creator. It is in these moments that she realizes her strength does not come from who walks beside her, but from who walks within her. God never leaves His children alone, and in that quiet space, He begins to reveal things to her that she could never have seen in the presence of distractions. Many women fear solitude because they have been conditioned to believe that their value is tied to their role in relation to others. A wife, a mother, a daughter, a friend. But before a woman is anything to anyone else, she is first a child of God. Her identity is not found in being someone's partner or someone's support system. Her identity is found in the one who created her. When a woman embraces this truth, she stops seeking validation from the world and starts walking in the confidence of her divine worth. A woman alone is not weak. She is in a process of refinement. Diamonds are formed in the depths of the earth, away from the eyes of the world, under pressure and heat. In the same way, a woman's true brilliance is developed in the quiet, unseen moments when God is shaping her into the person she was always meant to be. When she finally steps into the light, she shines. Not because she was validated by others, but because she was refined by God. A woman alone knows she is God's child, not because the world acknowledges it, but because she has heard it whispered in the depths of her soul. She does not walk in fear, she walks in purpose. She does not look to the world for approval, she stands firmly in the knowledge that she is chosen, she is loved, and she is never truly alone. Every woman carries a divine blueprint. She is not an afterthought, but a central part of God's plan. From the very beginning, God created woman with intention, not as an accessory to man, but as a powerful, purposeful being with a unique assignment on earth. The world may attempt to reduce a woman's worth to her external roles, whether as a wife, mother, or daughter, but in God's eyes, she is an essential force in His divine design, carrying gifts, wisdom, and authority that shape generations. A woman is not defined by what society says about her, but by what God has spoken over her. She was created in the image of God, infused with the same creative power, intelligence, and spiritual depth that He placed within humanity. When God formed Eve, He did not take her from the feet of Adam to be beneath him, nor from his head to be above him, but from his side, signifying partnership, strength, and equality in purpose. A woman is not a secondary thought. She is a divine masterpiece, fearfully and wonderfully made for a purpose greater than herself. When a woman understands that she is an integral part of God's vision for the world, she stops living in limitation and starts walking in confidence. She recognizes that her presence is not accidental, that her voice carries weight, and that her existence is tied to a greater mission. Every woman is born with a unique assignment. Some are called to lead nations, some to nurture and build families, some to heal and restore, some to create and innovate. No woman is without purpose, because no creation of God is without meaning. Throughout history, God has raised up women to fulfill His divine will. Deborah led an army to victory when men hesitated to step into battle. Esther stood before a king and changed the fate of an entire nation. Ruth's loyalty positioned her to become part of the lineage of the Messiah. These women were not mere background figures. They were chosen vessels, carrying the weight of destiny. They were not waiting for permission to be significant. They stepped into their purpose because they understood that God had already ordained their greatness. A woman's purpose is not dependent on her relationship status, her background, or what others think of her. It is rooted in her identity as God's child. She is not required to prove her worth because her worth was established the moment God breathed life into her. When a woman embraces this truth, she no longer seeks validation from the world. Instead, she seeks alignment with God's plan. She becomes unstoppable, knowing that she is positioned for impact, influence, and divine fulfillment. The world may try to limit a woman, but God's purpose for her is limitless. She is not a mere addition to creation. She is a force, a leader, a nurturer, a warrior, and a reflection of God's power on earth. When she steps fully into that purpose, she walks with divine confidence, knowing that she was created for such a time as this. Being alone does not mean being lonely. It is an opportunity to cultivate strength, wisdom, and faith in God. Many people fear solitude, believing it to be a sign of failure, rejection, or weakness. But in reality, moments of being alone are often the most powerful seasons of a woman's life. It is in aloneness that she develops resilience, discovers her true identity, and builds an unshakable foundation in God. The world may associate solitude with lack, but God uses it as a time of preparation, purification, and empowerment. A woman who walks alone is not lost. She is being led by God. Throughout history, some of the most influential and powerful women had to go through seasons of being alone before stepping into their divine purpose. Before Esther became queen and saved her people, she spent time in isolation, being prepared for the role God had ordained for her. Before Hannah's prayer for a child was answered, she had to endure years of solitude in her pain, learning to depend solely on God. Even Jesus, before beginning his ministry, withdrew into the wilderness to be strengthened. Aloneness is not a curse, it is a divine process designed to build something greater within. When a woman embraces her time alone, she stops seeing it as a punishment and starts seeing it as a privilege. She understands that God is using this time to sharpen her, to remove distractions, and to give her a vision that others may not yet understand. It is in these quiet moments that she learns to hear the voice of God clearly, unfiltered by the expectations and noise of the world. She is no longer defined by external validation, but by the certainty that she is deeply known, loved, and guided by her Creator. The strongest women are those who have faced seasons of solitude and emerged victorious. Strength is not found in constant companionship. It is found in learning to stand firm when no one else is around. It is easy to feel strong when surrounded by support, but true strength is built when a woman learns to stand in faith even when she feels unseen. It is in those moments that she realizes she is never truly alone. God is with her, strengthening her, teaching her, and preparing her for what is to come. A woman who finds strength in her aloneness is unstoppable. She is no longer afraid of walking her path, no longer waiting for approval, no longer shrinking herself to fit into the mold that others have created for her. She stands boldly, knowing that the same God who was with Esther, Ruth, and Deborah is with her now. She does not beg for attention because she knows she already has the full attention of heaven. Or she does not fear the unknown because she trusts the one who holds her future. True strength is not found in numbers, but in the ability to walk confidently with God even when the road seems empty. A woman who has been strengthened in solitude is a woman who cannot be broken, because her foundation is not in people, it is in God. And that, more than anything else, makes her powerful beyond measure. Society often defines a woman's value through relationships and external validation, but she is whole and complete in God. From the time a girl is born, she is fed messages about who she should be, how she should act, and what determines her worth. The world tells her that she must fit into certain roles to be accepted, that she must be someone's wife to be significant, someone's mother to be fulfilled, or someone's employee to have purpose. All right. But these expectations are chains that limit a woman from walking in the fullness of who God created her to be. A woman's worth is not found in how well she fits into society's mold. It is not defined by her marital status, her beauty, or the approval of others. Her worth is determined by the one who created her. God did not make a mistake when he designed a woman. He did not create her to live under the limitations of human opinions, but to rise above them, empowered by divine truth. When a woman understands that her value comes from God, she is no longer a prisoner to cultural pressures. She no longer measures herself by temporary standards because she knows she is created for an eternal purpose. For too long, women have been told that they must prove themselves to be accepted. If she is single, she is pressured to find a husband. If she is married, she is expected to sacrifice her identity for her family. If she is successful, she is told to be careful not to intimidate others. No matter what stage of life she is in, the world always seems to demand more. But God does not require a woman to prove her worth. He has already declared it. She is chosen, loved, and valuable, not because of what she does, but because of who she is, in him. The strongest women in history were those who refused to be bound by society's expectations. Esther was told to stay silent, but she spoke up and saved a nation. Deborah was told that leadership was for men, but she ruled with wisdom and strength. Mary was told that her story did not make sense, but she carried the Savior of the world. These women did not wait for permission to walk in their calling. They trusted God's purpose above society's opinions. A woman who knows she is complete in God no longer seeks validation from people. She stops trying to please everyone and starts focusing on pleasing the one who created her. She does not allow the fear of judgment to hold her back because she understands that she was never meant to conform to the world. She was meant to transform it. She walks boldly, knowing that she is not defined by labels, but by the divine calling on her life. Breaking free from societal chains is not about rebellion, it is about revelation. It is about realizing that a woman's true identity is found in God, not in the expectations placed upon her. When she embraces this truth, she becomes unstoppable, fearless, and unshakable. She lives not to fit in, but to stand out, not to be accepted by the world, but to fulfill her divine assignment. She walks with confidence, knowing that she is already whole, already worthy, and already enough in the eyes of God. A woman who walks with God lacks nothing because she has the ultimate source of guidance, provision, and love. In a world that constantly demands more, it is easy to feel as though something is missing. Society often conditions women to believe that they need external validation, relationships, or material success to be whole. But true completeness does not come from people or possessions. It comes from being connected to the one who created everything. When a woman aligns herself with God, she discovers that she is never in lack because he is the source of all she will ever need. Many women spend their lives searching for fulfillment in the wrong places. Some look for security in relationships, hoping that a spouse, family, or friends will complete them. Others chase achievements, believing that success will give them the worth they long for. Yet time and time again, these things fall short. They may bring temporary satisfaction, but they can never replace the deep, unshakable fulfillment that comes from knowing God personally. A woman who is connected to God walks in peace because she understands that her value, her purpose, and her provision are already established in him. One of the greatest lies that society tells women is that they need someone or something else to make them whole. But a woman who knows God understands that she is already complete. She does not fear being alone because she is never truly alone. She is constantly in the presence of her Creator. She does not fear lack because she knows that the same God who provided for the widow in Zarephath, the same God who multiplied a little boy's lunch to feed thousands, is the same God who watches over her. Her faith is her foundation, and because of that, she lacks nothing. When a woman builds her life around her connection with God, she no longer depends on unstable things for her security. She does not rely on the opinions of others because she knows she is already loved and accepted by the King of Kings. She does not panic when challenges come because she trusts that God is in control. She does not chase after approval because she already has divine favor. This is the power of divine connection. It gives a woman unshakable confidence, knowing that her destiny is secured by God Himself. Throughout history, women who trusted in God's provision and guidance changed the course of nations and generations. Ruth, Though a widow and a foreigner, followed God and stepped into divine favor, Esther, an orphan raised in obscurity, trusted in God's plan and became a queen who saved her people. These women were not defined by their circumstances, they were defined by their connection to God. When a woman understands this, she walks differently. She moves with purpose, speaks with authority, and lives with the assurance that she is fully equipped for whatever comes her way. A woman who walks with God is unstoppable. She does not fear the future because she knows who holds it. She does not look to others for identity because she knows whose child she is. She lacks nothing because in God she has everything. A woman who knows she is God's child walks in boldness, purpose, and unshakable confidence because she understands who she is and why she was created. Confidence does not come from outward beauty, social status, or personal achievements. It comes from knowing one's divine identity. When a woman realizes that she was created intentionally, designed for a purpose, and equipped with everything she needs to fulfill her calling, she no longer lives in fear or doubt. She steps forward with certainty, not because she has all the answers, but because she trusts the one who does. Many women struggle with insecurity because they have been conditioned to seek approval from the world. They are told that they must look a certain way, act a certain way, or achieve certain milestones to be considered valuable. But external validation is fleeting. It changes with trends, opinions, and circumstances. A woman who roots her confidence in human acceptance will always feel the need to prove herself. But when she understands that she is already approved by God, she no longer seeks permission to be great. She walks in the greatness that was placed inside her from the beginning. Purpose is not something a woman must search for. It is something she must step into. From the moment she was formed, she was created with intentionality. God does not make mistakes. Every talent, every passion, and every experience she has is part of a divine design, leading her to the assignment she was born to fulfill. When she aligns her life with God's plan, she stops chasing things that were never meant for her and starts embracing the path that was prepared specifically for her. Confidence in purpose does not mean the absence of challenges. A woman walking in purpose will still face opposition, criticism, and moments of uncertainty, but she does not shrink back because she knows that her strength does not come from herself. It comes from God. Esther could have been afraid to speak before the king, but she knew that she was positioned for such a time as this. Deborah could have hesitated to lead, but she understood that her calling was greater than societal norms. But a woman who walks in confidence understands that her mission is bigger than her fears. True confidence is not arrogance. It is faith in action. It is the quiet assurance that no matter what happens, she is secure in God's hands. She does not need to compete with others because she knows that her journey is uniquely hers. She does not fear failure because she understands that even setbacks are part of her growth. She does not waver in the face of challenges because she stands on the unshakable foundation of God's promises. A woman who knows her purpose is unstoppable. She moves through life with clarity, grace, and strength. She is not distracted by the opinions of others, nor is she limited by fear. She walks with confidence, knowing that she is chosen, called, and empowered. She does not ask, "Am I enough?" She declares, "I am God's child," and that is more than enough. A woman alone is never truly alone. She is God's child, chosen, empowered, and complete. She does not need external validation to confirm her worth because her identity is rooted in the one who created her. Society may try to limit her, define her, or tell her that she is incomplete without certain achievements, relationships, or status. But she knows the truth. Her value is not determined by the world, it is determined by God. She embraces her solitude, knowing that it is not a place of weakness, but a space of divine transformation. It is in those quiet moments that she hears God's voice the clearest, that she is refined, strengthened, and prepared for her purpose. She does not seek wholeness from others because she is already whole. She does not fear walking alone because she is always guided by the one who knows the way. With unshakable confidence, she steps into her divine calling, knowing that she was created for more. She does not shrink back in the face of challenges, but stands boldly, fully aware that her life carries purpose. She refuses to be bound by societal expectations, walking instead in the freedom and authority given to her by God. She is a force, a leader, a nurturer, a warrior, and a reflection of divine strength. Her confidence is not in what she has, but in who she is. A daughter of the Most High. She moves with purpose, speaks with wisdom, and walks with the assurance that she is loved, seen, and destined for greatness. She does not wait for permission to shine. She shines because she was created to do so. And so, to every woman listening, hear this truth. You are enough. You are powerful. You are chosen. You are never alone. You are God's child. And because of that, you lack nothing. Walk boldly, live fully, and embrace the incredible purpose for which you are created. The world may not always recognize your greatness, but heaven already does. And that is more than enough.